Yo, what is up YouTube? I'm Blitz5 and in today's video, I want to talk about Microsoft's Play Anywhere, which is basically Xbox's Play Anywhere function. And in a previous video, which I'll link down in the description below, I talked about why Microsoft and Xbox have an advantage over Sony and PlayStation. But I didn't mention this, and it's kind of its own topic on its own, which is why I wanted to make this video. And in the background right here, we have some Battleborn gameplay. This is probably going to be one of the last Battleborn videos that I post on my page because this game, the player base has dropped significantly and nobody I know is really playing it anymore. It's unfortunate because this game was awesome, but it's probably the last time I'll put it in my background. So this will be kind of celebrating this game because it was awesome and this gameplay was really good, playing with Oscar Mike here, who's kind of like the all-around average FPS character in this game, like damage dealer, etc. But getting back to Xbox, because I digressed a little bit. Microsoft announced this function where it's called Microsoft Play Anywhere, and it's basically allowing people who buy Xbox games to play them on their Windows PC and their Xbox. And this is all part of Windows 10 and Microsoft combining all of their products together. They've been doing this for a while. We all know this, or at least if you're an Xbox fan. If you don't know this, basically what they've done is with the Surface, which is the Microsoft tablet, the Xbox One, the Nokia Windows Phone, and Windows 8.1 or whatever, they made them all like the tile kind of layout. I think this is like generally known from everybody. And I actually had gotten one of the Nokia Windows Phone. I did like a rental thing for like 2 weeks where I got the phone because they were trying to get people off like the iPhone. And the setup was really cool because I logged into Xbox Live. It had like all my stats in there and it was very connected to like the whole Windows platform. It's kind of like having an Apple phone, Apple computer, but it was really nice having it. But the phone and the platform was awful. You couldn't even get like an Instagram app on the phone at the time, and this was about like 2 or 3 years ago, and Instagram has already been pretty popular, and all the main apps weren't on there. And that's kind of like the issue with a lot of these things. It's also kind of another separate topic, is that a lot of the app developers and stuff like that just haven't created these systems for like the Windows Phone, which sucks. And there's a lot of shortcomings to this whole like Windows 10 platform across all of their products that is kind of hurting them, but it's also helping them in some ways. And I think that with Windows 10, they're fixing a lot of the things that they screwed up with Windows 8.1, and that's, or 8 and then 8.1, whatever. So I think that this is their attempt to try to do what Apple did and make all their products kind of like go like, I don't know, synergize, I guess would be the word, across all of their different products. And this video game thing seems really interesting because there's two main parts to this. So on the surface, you're going to be buying your games through Microsoft, which you could debate whether is good or bad. So you could digitally get the game, and it's going to be, instead of like through Steam, it's going to be through Microsoft. So some people are going to not like that, especially a lot of the hardcore PC gamers. I feel like they're going to be bothered by that because they like buying their games through like battle.net, like the Blizzard portal, or they get it through Steam. But for people like who are Xbox gamers, people like me who don't mind where they're buying their game, I have no preference over that, and I don't mind buying it through the Microsoft store. And I think that's actually pretty cool because then it's kind of forever in the cloud. But what's interesting about this, it's going to destroy GameStop's business model because everyone's going to be incentivized to get the digital copy because this Microsoft Play Anywhere only works when you have the digital copy. But what's sweet is say if you have your Xbox in the living room and you have an office, all you have to do is buy Gears of War one time, the new Gears of War, whatever, 4 or 5, whatever one it is, and then you could play on your Xbox, or you could bring your Xbox controller to your PC if someone's watching TV, and you could play on your PC, and all the achievements go across. And I think that's just so awesome. You only have to buy the game one time. And for example, with like Rocket League, I think that'd be awesome because I just bought the game on Xbox, and I don't want to have to get it again on PC if I want to play it on PC. Even though the game is really cheap, I just don't feel like buying it twice. So for these Xbox games, it's just going to be really awesome. But then you think about it a little bit more and you're like, well, most people, don't have desktop computers like I do anymore. You can move your Xbox around. Like, is it really that helpful to have the option to get a game on PC and on Xbox? But what part of this is really smart on Microsoft's part is that they're trying to get people who don't have an Xbox ingrained into the Xbox world and into the Xbox family. It's kind of like most people who have an iPhone stick with iPhone. Like for me, that was my first smartphone, and it's really hard for me to switch to Android, even though I'm pretty upset with a lot of Apple's like decisions and their products and kind of the quality lately to me has gone down. but I'm so like integrated with Apple that I'm not going to switch. So what they hope is that people who don't have an Xbox One or the next model, Xbox One S or the Xbox One and a half, Project Scorpio, they're hoping that some guy who just has a PC or a laptop gets Gears of War on the Microsoft PC platform, and then when he comes time, say down the line, he's like, okay, now I'm thinking about getting a console. What console is he gonna buy? He's gonna get an Xbox One or whatever is the equivalent over the PlayStation. And let's say we're on the next generation where it's like PS5 versus whatever the Xbox is called. That person, because he's got a library of games on his Microsoft account, which is kind of like his Steam account on PC, he's going to be more likely to buy the Xbox brand. And that's what Xbox has always done really well. They have a really good friends list. Xbox Live was always better. They have achievements to kind of get people to stay on the brand that way. And honestly, it's worked on me. I've had Xbox Live for such a long time that I get these like little rewards. They have the games with gold. They have all these little things. The friends list is really great. Like, I have my achievements that go way back. Like, even though achievements don't mean anything, I wouldn't want to switch to PlayStation because I just don't have any library there. And I've actually already started purchasing digital games through Xbox. So now if I get Sony, a PlayStation, and I bought like a digital version of Call of Duty, I'm not going to get that on my PlayStation 5, let's say, when that comes out. But with Xbox, I have it. So Xbox is making these decisions for the long run, and because they have like the main, with computers, Sony's not involved with PC. It's just Apple and Windows. And most people who are gamers have Windows. So this is where they have another huge advantage. And to me, it's so genius that they're doing this. And this kind of decision almost makes me feel like, man, how can Sony even compete? Like if I was Sony, I would almost want to just like give up after hearing this news. Because it doesn't seem like that big of news that you can just play on PC. But the long-term impact that this is going to have years down the line of Microsoft becoming kind of like a servicer of video games. And again, like I said, this is going to totally blow like GameStop and all these companies out of the water. I'm sure Best Buy will be fine because they have other products that they sell. It's not just a video game store. But I think this is the beginning of the end of GameStop, and probably make a video about that, going through like that financial analysis of GameStop, because I actually have a lot of information about that. So if you're interested, let me know down in the comments below. But just something I think that we'll see more of down the line. And eventually, we all predict that, I think, online gamers and people who are into console gaming, that the PC and console are kind of merging together. And down the line, it's kind of hard for me to imagine having multiple consoles when things are becoming so mobile and laptops and like smartphones. I just feel like there's not going to be a bigger separation. It's kind of narrowing. You can kind of tell us over time. There were so many consoles. Now there's really only like 2 or 3. And then eventually I think that might move down a little bit more. But who knows? There's always room in the market for more competition. But to me, it just seems like we're kind of heading towards this universal gaming platform kind of PC world. And it would almost make sense to me because it's always been strange that the platform's been split up across, different companies, especially when Call of Duty is the same game, or these big titles are the same game across all of the companies, but we can't play them together and they're slightly different. I've always found that a little bit weird. It's kind of like having Blu-ray versus like regular DVD. They're pretty much the same, but you can't play them together. And when that came out, it kind of just splits the market, and it's a waste of like energy and time for the companies involved and the people making the content. It just doesn't really seem to flow. Sometimes it's good to have a lot of competition, and sometimes it just makes things a little bit less organized, and it costs the consumer more money, but I guess that's what they want in the end. So anyways, I hope you guys found this video interesting. Like I said, probably one of the last times I'm going to be playing Battleborn or posting a Battleborn video to my page. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a really fun game, and it's a little bit of a shame that the player base just wasn't there, but what are you going to do? Still really appreciate 2K Games and Gearbox's style for video games. So as always, I'm Blitz5. Thank you for watching, and peace out.